Overton, and of course, Attorney Overton, before we had our second commercial break, we were talking about the expenditures of the metropolitan government dealing with small businesses over the last 6 or 7 years. And let's give you an opportunity to continue that conversation.
Yes. I stated that from its inception of the small business program, Metro had spent less than $1 million with small businesses. And it has reached a point where our last fiscal year, we spent approximately over $14 million with small businesses. Now, over $16 million of those dollars were spent with minorities. Approximately over $7 million of that money was spent with women-owned businesses. Then the remaining approximately $17 million was spent with other small businesses. So we have come an awfully long way. I mean, there's still room for improvement, and we're constantly tinkering with mechanisms and trying to make sure that small businesses get their fair share of government contracts and purchases, which leads me to my job responsibilities. I am mandated to make sure that small and minority businesses get their fair share of government purchases within the government procurement process. I'm also responsible for providing information to the public, and that's why I consider it a wonderful opportunity to be on this show and to talk to a vast audience about our small business program. We constantly want to get the information out that we are serious about providing opportunities to small and minority businesses. There are 3 different means in which we are able to communicate our bid opportunities. One is on our website. The other, it's been appearing on Channel 3, which is the government's access channel. Right. The government's access channel, which shows the bid opportunities that are available, and also shows on there that if a business, whether it's large or small, has any questions about small and disadvantaged businesses, you are to call me, and it provides my numbers. Now, I have been besieged by phone calls from that.
So you know it's working.
I know it's working. I know it's being seen. No question about it.
Very good.
And we want to get that out. And it also appears in the newspaper. Those are 3 different mechanisms which we're able to get the word out about what opportunities exist for Metro. We are always looking for responsible and responsive small businesses. There are certain guidelines that we require for you to be considered a small business. That's right. Some of the things we use are federally mandated in state, and it filters down to local. There's not a consistent definition for a small business in terms of what federal does and what the state does and what Metro does, but we have our own definition for small business on our procurement code. One of those is to be independently owned and to operate and not allow a large business to use you as a front. And that's something that we constantly verify and check, because let's face it, it does happen. And we want to do it the right way. And that is important to us, that we don't want small businesses to be a fraud. We want them to be legitimate small businesses that are able to do what they say they're able to do. The dollars are important. And we have been able to come up with various mechanisms to ensure that this is in place.
You know, I think in terms of some of the things that you've laid out here, we might raise a question, and I'm almost sure that we can answer it in the affirmative according to what you've said. Is there affirmative action in the purchase department? Is that what we're saying, that you have made some kind of commitment? You might not be using the word.
Yes, we don't use numbers or what we feel like is that we don't want to set limitations. I think our percentage of small business participation, which was well over 19% this past year, as far as the monies that are expended throughout the government, will does speak for itself. You know, the government spent well over $215 million last year. Now,
Okay.
40 million of that went to small business.
That's quite. That's well, that was almost 20% of that.
That's right, almost 20%,
that.
which I would compare our figures with any city of this size, and would feel pretty safe in saying that I think that we would be pretty close to the top. And we are constantly working towards trying to make the small business program even stronger. I was looking at the stats before I came, and it appears that we are ahead of the figures in which we had this past year. So it's a constant improvement. It's not perfect. We're constantly working towards making sure that opportunities do exist.
Okay, and of course, over the last half minute that we have here, Attorney Overton, let me thank you for coming by and giving us that information about what I consider to be one of the most important departments dealing with quote unquote affirmative action in the government, and that is the department that purchases.
Yes.
And, it seems that there is an attempt, a very active attempt, excuse me, on the part of the government to be inclusive, and I want to thank you for coming by and bringing us that information. And let me encourage our audience to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you and good morning.